Let's be real. Building a dream outdoor kitchen can cost a fortune. But what if I told you we built this entire setup for a fraction of the cost? The secret: upcycled barnwood and a lot of elbow grease. In this video, we're tackling a major DIY project that proves you don't need a huge budget to create a high-impact, functional, and gorgeous outdoor cooking space right in your own backyard. Welcome to Homescape Project. There's something joyful about turning something discarded into the centerpiece of your backyard. This slide explores low-cost transformations where old barn boards become countertops, facades, and bar fronts without breaking the bank. Imagine finding planks at a salvage yard or reclaiming pallet wood, then watching them come alive through sanding, patching, and a little elbow grease. The mood in these images is intentionally approachable. Mismatched hardware, hand-hewn edges, and thrifted lighting creating a lived-in, welcoming space. You feel the thrill of resourcefulness. Neighbors asking where you found that amazing wood, friends gathering for the first grilled meal, and a sense that your outdoor kitchen tells a story that new materials never could. This slide feels like a summer evening. A long barnwood bar, string lights, and the clink of glasses. It's less about instructions and more about the romance of reuse. The slow reveal when a faded board is installed and suddenly anchors conversations. You picture friends leaning on a worn bar edge, local blooms tucked into mason jars on reclaimed shelves, and the satisfaction of a space built with personality instead of catalog perfection. The images highlight character. Nail holes, old paint ghosts, and grain patterns that become focal points. It's a story of transformation, from roof beams to a neighborhood hub, and it invites viewers to imagine their own backyard gatherings centered around a bar that literally carries history. Small spaces encourage creativity. These images show how a few carefully placed barnwood elements, a narrow service counter, a vertical storage wall, or fold-down prep surfaces, can turn a postage stamp patio into a full-fledged outdoor kitchen. The narration of the slides whispers practicality. Compact grills tucked under overhangs, reclaimed shelves holding spices and plants, and clever use of vertical room to keep flow open. Each photo feels cozy rather than cramped, offering mini makeovers that prove big personality doesn't need big square footage. The story is about maximizing what you have while surrounding yourself with textures that invite touch. The rough grain of barnwood, the warmth of layered lighting, the scent of herbs clipped from the raised bed nearby. These images conjure smoky late afternoons, the aroma of wood smoke, and the ritual of turning dough into gold. A barnwood-clad island framed around a charcoal grill or pizza oven gives a culinary anchor to the yard. The visuals emphasize contrast, the industrial heat of ovens and steel against reclaimed wood that has weathered seasons. You sense the gatherings. Neighbors arriving with bottles of wine, kids chasing each other on the lawn, someone dusting flour on a barnwood counter as the first pie slides into the oven. It's an invitation to slow-cooked meals and fireside storytelling, with aesthetics that bridge rustic charm and serious cooking. Weather is the antagonist in this story, and these slides are about the quiet victories. Sealants, protective overhangs, and design choices that let reclaimed wood survive and age gracefully outdoors. Rather than technical instructions, the images tell a narrative of endurance. Boards mellowing from storm to sun while finishes fade into a beautiful patina. You see covered counters, clever roof lines, and drainage-conscious layouts that make the wood look intentional, not neglected. The mood is pragmatic and hopeful. With a little planning, reclaimed materials keep their character without becoming liabilities, earning each knot and crack as part of the kitchen's evolving tale. This slideshow balances two worlds: clean modern lines and the forgiving imperfection of barnwood. Images pair sleek appliances and concrete with layered reclaimed wood, producing a look that's simultaneously curated and cozy. The story behind each image is of a homeowner blending heritage and contemporary comfort: a minimalist pendant over a weathered island, black steel hardware against sun-bleached boards. These are spaces that host both quick weeknight dinners and leisurely weekend brunches, reflecting personalities that value authenticity with an eye for restraint. The narrative is about tasteful contrast and finding harmony between new function and old soul. Open shelving built from barnwood brings utility and display together. These slides celebrate the everyday poetry of open storage. Stacked plates, mason jars, herbs and terracotta, and that one chipped teapot that tells a story. The reclaimed counters wear knife marks and stains like badges. They invite making, not just admiring. The images suggest tactile living: reaching for a spice jar, wiping your hands on warm wood, stacking plates under a striped awning. It's less about pristine perfection and more about the patina of use, showing how functional surfaces become memory-laden backdrops for meals shared outdoors. Here the kitchen and garden are inseparable. Slides show barnwood facades framed by climbing vines, pots of basil, and a gravel path leading guests to the cooking zone. Lighting is soft and natural. Seating is communal and casual. The story in these photos is of seasonal ritual: summer nights hosting potlucks, autumn dinners warmed by lantern light, an outdoor kitchen that blooms with a garden. Barnwood becomes the connective tissue between architecture and landscape, carrying a lived-in charm that makes every meal feel like part of the garden's story. Lighting changes everything, and these images demonstrate how string lights, vintage sconces, and low-watt lanterns transform reclaimed wood from utilitarian to magical. The slideshow reads like an evening stroll. Warm glows highlighting grain, shadows dancing across planks, and a bar top that becomes a stage for conversation. The narrative focuses on mood, how the right light creates intimacy and highlights textures, rather than technical specs. Each photo suggests a small design decision that turns a functional kitchen into an atmospheric retreat where storytelling and long dinners feel natural. Sustainability is a quiet hero in these slides. The images show materials given a second life. Barnwood that might otherwise be burned or landfilled now becomes counters, cladding, or furniture. The story is ethical and aesthetic. Design choices that reduce waste while adding character. You glimpse community value too. Local salvage yards, tradespeople sharing tips, and a sense of pride in building something that respects history. These visuals are for people who want beauty with conscience. Outdoor kitchens that tell a story about preservation and thoughtful living. Not everyone can commit to permanent builds. These slides imagine modular, movable barnwood elements, freestanding prep carts, portable bar fronts, and plug-in shelving that bring barnwood charm to rented patios. The story is adaptable living, creating moments of ownership without permanent alteration. You see a renter wheeling a barnwood island into place for a summer party, then tucking it away when the season ends. These images celebrate ingenuity and the delight of personalizing temporary spaces with reclaimed warmth. Family use shapes design choices, and these photos highlight kid-friendly surfaces, bench seating, and durable finishes that tolerate spills and play. The barnwood's tactile warmth becomes part of everyday rituals. Homework at the counter, pancake mornings outdoors, impromptu crafts after dinner. The narrative centers on lived life. Scratch marks that tell stories, a dedicated kids station with easy-to-clean prep, and seating that encourages lingering. The tone is practical and affectionate. A kitchen built not just for looks but for the beautiful chaos of family. This collection is pure transformation. Mismatched boards composed into a striking island. Photos emphasize creative solutions. Patchwork faces, reclaimed beams as legs, and old metal accents reused as handles. The storytelling focus is on process observed in finished form. Scars that become design features, the delight of a perfect imperfect surface, and how a leftover pile of boards becomes a magnet for gatherings. It's a narrative about ingenuity and vision, showing that a cohesive, functional piece can be born from what others dismiss as scrap. These images capture the quiet beauty of wood that's been treated to endure moisture. Rich tones deepened by oils, subtle sheens from sealants, and protective details like overhangs and raised legs. The story isn't a manual but a reassurance. With thoughtful finishes, barnwood can weather gracefully. You see close-ups of grain emphasized by finish, edges rounded for longevity, and thoughtful joinery that sheds water. The mood is of stewardship, caring for reclaimed material so it remains beautiful for years of outdoor meals and conversations. Before and after slides are addictive for a reason. They crystallize change. In these sequences, dilapidated planks, faded paint, and bent nails become a warm, functional kitchen. The narrative is redemptive. An object's second life reframes its value. You feel the arc from neglect to celebration, and the emotional payoff is immediate. Once overlooked wood now composes the backdrop for laughter, late-night grills, and new traditions. These images promise possibility and invite viewers to imagine their own dramatic transformations. From scrap wood to a stunning kitchen. Imagine what you can build. I hope this project proves that a limited budget can't limit your dreams. If you're ready to tackle your own project, subscribe for more budget-friendly DIY home and garden ideas. Your support means everything, so if you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and let me know what you want to see next in the comments.